Okay, Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew had a press conference, and basically now that the roster is final, right? We know a lot more changes will happen with injuries and whatever, but coming out of training camp, getting ready for the Philadelphia Eagles, they had a press conference talking about just we're answering questions, some general comments. So I have three big takeaways from their press conference and what I'd like to hear and some of the things that were kind of interesting to me. So I want to break down three things that I saw or heard today in their press conference. So number one, um, he talked about cuts being harder. And so I can't remember exactly how it works, but you go from 90 to 85 and then the second round of cuts you got to go from 85 to 70 and ultimately you got to get down to 53. He said Brad Holmes said last year that first and second round of cuts it was just like get this guy out of here, get these guys out of here, just easy. Like they're never going to make it. And it's like yeah, no surprise, right? Because even the 53-man roster was like undrafted free agents, between injuries and COVID last year, it was just like, oh my gosh. So this year, no surprise, a lot harder. Even the first round, going from 90 guys to 85, a lot more discussions. He said that really Ray and Dan and Brad, they really only had a couple discussions those first two rounds of cuts last year. This year it was like even going from 90 to 85 I was like, man, we better keep this guy around. Should we cut him right now? Let's let him develop more. So the roster is getting better. We know this, and of course these guys are going to be high on that and they're going to say that the roster is getting better, but we've really seen it. We've seen guys like Malcolm Rodriguez, James Mitchell, injured tight end last year that's getting healthy. Jeff Okuda's back. We're signing, we've signed a lot. We've done a lot of things, and a lot of injured guys have come back. So it's made the roster a lot more deeper. The number two thing that kind of stuck out to me, and he was asked about why he drafts injured players and if he's good with that or did he not know. Like perfect example, Levi. He was injured last year. He's injured again. And Brad Holmes admitted that he knew that he was going to be not injury prone, but like he's susceptible to injury. They knew he had an injury coming in. Didn't really expect him to even play last year. Didn't know that. So he didn't really play last year. Now he's injured again. And so he believes that he can get healthy, but Brad Holmes says he's comfortable with injured players. And I'm not, but Brad Holmes is. So you look at Jamison Williams, Levi, Pascal is a second round player that, it was a shocker when we took him and he looked healthy. I thought he was healthy. He's not healthy. James Mitchell, tight end that we take. So your first couple guys, Jamison Williams and Levi, or excuse me, Jamison Williams and Pascal, both injured, both not going to play the first 4 or 6 weeks of the season. I get what we're doing, kind of a long-term play, and you find value there, but it's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys that we've drafted, knew that there was an injury history, knew that they could be injured, knew that they weren't going to play. And so Brad Holmes seems very confident in that. So that was one thing that stuck out for me because I don't like that. I don't like injured guys. Now, Jamison Williams, you got those one-offs. I totally get it. Jamison Williams is a perfect example. I love that. He's going to be fine. ACL, it's worth the risk. It's worth, hey, maybe he doesn't play this whole year. Who cares? This guy is like a generational type receiver, like Randy Moss style. I'm not saying he's Randy Moss. I'm just saying Randy Moss type could be potential. So yeah, you take him, you trade up, you try to grab these guys. But when it starts adding up, it's like, man, I don't like the injury thing. So that's number two. Number three takeaway, these guys could not hide their excitement for Aiden Hutchinson. And it's just clear and clear and clear. We caught a break. The Jacksonville Jaguars have no business passing up on Hutch, but they just said, hey, the guy's more athletic. He's just working hard. They admitted he hasn't played an NFL game yet, but I mean, come on. The guy just looks good. He's improved immediately. Day one, our pass rush. He makes Charles Harris better. He makes our interior better. He makes our linebacker. I mean, he makes our secondary better. He's going to get to the passer. I mean, you see it in the preseason, just the few plays that he's out there. If he's not getting to the passer, he's on his way to the passer. That's something Craig and I have been talking about a lot. It's not that last year and last 3-4 years, we have not even have a threat of a pass rush. I mean, Charles Harris did well last year, but with Hutchinson as a quarterback, I have to get rid of the ball. He's going to get me. Like, I have to get rid of it. I just have to, and I can't hold on to the ball. And so you just add this layer by just adding this one player that we should never have gotten, and he falls to us at number 2, hometown kid, all this stuff. And it's just like, man, awesome to see that we have Hutchinson. And so those are my big 3 takeaways. They talked about a lot of different things. You can watch the full interview, obviously, on YouTube or whatever, but it was good to see Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew. Ray Agnew's the assistant GM. It was cool that he brought him out too. He didn't really talk much. He started to, but Brad Holmes couldn't help himself. And they just talked about the roster. I got the sense, the biggest thing I got, biggest takeaway was I got the sense this is a long-term play. They believe that they're going to be here for a while and that Sheila is going to support them. And they're going to be here and build it the right way. And that is fine by me. Build it the right way. Do not take shortcuts. Do not try to win in year 2, win the Super Bowl in year 2 by trading draft capital. No, just stick to it. Build. That's why they're taking injured guys. It's a long-term thing. Jameson Williams, we may not see him. I don't know when we'll see him because they're going to be super, super, super smart with him. So leave him on the sidelines. So, some interesting things that came from that, but make sure you check out the full interview if you want to. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, and we will see all of you on the next one.